There's a fish. Whoa. There's a bass. There's a fish, guys. That feels better. All right, guys, that's a better. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. I'm back at it again today. I'm at this little creek you can see behind me. So we're going to be trying to do kind of like an ultralight creek fishing, wading mission out here today. We're going to be exploring this new access point for a few hours this afternoon, see what we can run into. This is a creek that I've fished before in other other areas, other stretches, and it can be kind of hit or miss. Some parts are good, some parts are not that great. So don't have a ton of expectations today, which I think can be nice sometimes. That's something I really like about ultralight fishing in a creek, is you're kind of just out there, exploring, seeing what you can find, not expecting to not targeting big fish. Alright, so like I was saying, you can just kind of go out, throw some little lures around, just see what's in there. And like I said, not targeting big fish, just kind of, it's a very relaxing method of fishing, I think. So, you can see there's this nice current right here where we're at the moment, this access. So we're going to try to hit this current, and then we'll either wade downstream or upstream. I'm not entirely sure yet. It just kind of depends on what ends up happening, what the fish seem to want, where I'm finding the fish, and so forth and so on. You never know until you throw. So, let's go. Alright guys, here's where we're going to start fishing today. Starting with a very, finesse presentation here. This is a Berkeley 1-inch gulp minnow on a 1/48 ounce jig head. We're going to just toss this around these rocks and, along the current seams and see if there's any fish around here. I'm just going to cast and let it sink and kind of twitch it back, nothing crazy. Very subtle, very natural presentation here. So, see what we can do. See if there's anything lurking in these little eddies over here. There's a fish. First cast. Alright, there's our first fish, guys. It's a tiny red-breast sunfish, about 3 inches long. Came out from behind a rock and hit it. Like I said, not going for anything big today. He just flew out of my hand like a little missile. Hopefully there'll be a couple of nicer ones. That's pretty darn small, but... There's a fish. Oh, he got off. Saw him flash, looked like another red breast, but it was a nicer one. That one had a little fight to it. There's a fish, guys. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting to catch that today, guys. It's a crappie. A creek crappie. Now that's a surprise. Let's see, guys. That's about a 7-inch fish, maybe. Maybe 6.5, or yeah, something like that. Maybe just 6. It's a black crappie, guys, out of a creek. Not what I was really foreseeing today. I don't think I've ever caught a crappie from this creek. Thank you, buddy. Here's a fish. Another little red breast. Probably gonna catch a lot of these today. Let's take a look at him, guys. He's small, but still a pretty little fish. Thank you, buddy. These little areas with current are just so juicy. Current is something, you know, pretty important for holding fish when the water is warm. See that little calm spot next to the current? That's gonna hold fish usually. There could be other species in here, you know, bass or fall fish or bluegills. Whew. This mimosa tree smells heavenly. Love that smell. Non-native tree, but I think they're pretty. Alright, I think we're getting into a slower section here. Alright, guys. Still small, but got another species here. There's a little bluegill. He's actually a little bit bigger than most of the red breast we've been catching. 3.5-inch fish, maybe. See you, little guy. Small of a bluegill. So again, this would be a good bait-sized fish if you wanted to fish with live bluegills. So yeah, if you are like a live bait fisherman and trying to figure out a way how to get a lot of bait in a fun way, this isn't a bad option. Oh, there's a bit nicer fish there. Another crappie, guys. Similar to that last one, maybe a little bit smaller. I was not expecting there to be crappie in this creek, but there are. Let's check them out, guys. Similar to the last one. Alright, let's let him go. Yeah, I definitely was not expecting to catch crappie out of this creek today. But that's what exploring new spots is about, you know, just little surprises like that. You know, you can learn things if you want to come back or decide not to come back, or just, you know, just getting out there. And that's one of the most important mentalities to have when you're fishing, especially bank fishing, where your access is a little bit different from a boat angler. Here's a red breast. You know, you have to be willing to go out, explore, try new spots, try hidden spots that you don't think other people go to. But I don't see anyone else waiting out here, do you? Probably caught 10 red breasts already. Ain't that just the way out here at the creek? Lots of red breasts. One of the most common species in streams. So it's a fast action situation out here, but the sizes are pretty small. Not too surprising there. Like I said, didn't have a lot of expectations today. Didn't think there'd be, you know, a lot of big fish, so it doesn't bother me. Key to fishing this little bait is just letting it sink down towards the bottom. A lot of times it'll get hit on the fall if there's a fish nearby where you casted. There's a fish. Okay, another decent, you know, better than average so far bluegill. This one looks like he's got some kind of sore on his lip. This fish has got the herp, guys. Alright guys, look at the lip on that guy. That doesn't look great. See a fish. Seemed healthy otherwise, but that's a weird sore or something that he had on his lip. Like I said, he's got the herp. That one thumped it pretty good. Alright, slightly better bluegill once again. There we go, guys. A little healthy looking bluegill there. Probably 5 inches. See you, buddy. Here's a fish, guys. Crappie, another crappie. Black crappie. Similar to the others. Well, at least they grow to a better average size than the red breast in here. I was definitely not expecting to catch crappie from this creek. But there they are. Beautiful fish, man. Beautiful fish, the crappie. Big eyes on it. Kind of an iridescent look. Iridescent shine to the fish. What a nice surprise, you know, catching crappie here. I just wasn't anticipating that at all. Alright guys, I swapped over to this little chrome minnow slash crankbait slash jerkbait. I think it's a Cream brand or maybe Arky brand. I think it's called crappie crankbait, but it's really more like a minnow type bait. To me, I just swap out the hooks on this to slightly bigger hooks, just so we can have a better chance of landing larger fish. Out and hit this thing. There's a fish. Whoa. There's a bass. Dude, that was like the second cast. Maybe we can get a bass to come out and hit it. He hit it all right. Nice, guys. Oh. Hold on, fish. We gotta take a look at you first. You can't just run off without being looked at. You're a bass. We have to look at the bass. There you go, guys. That's a cute little bass there. 8.5 inches, 9 inches. Not bad for a little creek. And there's another species on the day, guys. We're at 4 species now. If we can get a couple more species, that'd be really, really cool. Let this guy go. Thank you, little bass. We appreciate you. Another fish, guys. Oh, there's a fall fish. All right, guys, that's species number 5 from the creek. He's hooked a little weird, but he does have a hook on the edge of his mouth, so I'm counting it. Real quick picture. These guys are kind of sensitive. Okay, maybe not. He's squirmy. All right, guys, let's switch to this little curly tail soft plastic. This is a Cream brand you know, Walmart brand. Don't know what the color's called, but it's just like a 2-inch girly tail. This thing's been doing well for me this year in the creeks, so thought I'd cast around. Maybe, and like I said, we're kind of trying to weed out some of the really small fish at this point. I don't need to catch any more 3-inch red breast, you know. Just spooked a bass. But yeah, really looking for bass, or you know, if there's more of those crappie around or something. Little bass hit it right in front of us. Not the size we're looking for, but it is a bass. I think it was another tiny bass. There's a fish, guys. That feels better. Alright guys, that's a better crappie. They'll stay hooked. These guys have thin mouths, they can get off pretty easily. Gotcha. Ooh, okay guys, this is honestly like a quality fish. That's the best fish of the day right there, guys. Beautiful crappie. Check that little chunk out, guys, at a creek. That's like a 10 or 11-inch fish. That'd be, you know, almost good enough to eat. Beautiful fish. Let's get a picture of him. Gorgeous. Out from under that little laydown right in front of me. Let's make a few more casts over there. One more look at him. Gorgeous fish. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. Maybe actually tugged a little drag on us there. I thought that was a bass for sure. All right, guys. Here's our final lure of the day. We've been, you know, I like to switch around things, see what we can catch them on. It's just that Z-Man Slim Swims 2.5-inch swim bait in green pumpkin on a 1/16 ounce jig. And remember, this is that, you know, that Z-Man stuff. It's that very durable Elastec type material, so this will actually stand up off the bottom. You can kind of hop it along or just swim it. There's another fall fish, guys. Finally got something to hook up on this lure. Hold on, buddy. We'll get you free. Alright, let's get a picture of this one for sure. It's going to be our last fish of the day. Beautiful fall fish. I think that's bigger than the last one that we caught. There you go, buddy. I think that was the first time I caught a fall fish on a swim bait, come to think of it. Alright people, I'm going to end things here. Had a nice little afternoon session with the Ultralight down here at this creek. New section, explored it for the first time today. And it was not too bad, you know. I mean, we didn't catch anything big, but it's just a creek, you know. Most creeks aren't going to have the big fish in them unless you're in like a certain section, or like you're near where the creek feeds into like some, you know, bigger body of water or something like that. I'm sure maybe if we went downstream, you know, there'd be maybe some bigger bass and stuff in here. But this spot, you know, that really wasn't the goal today, right? We were just exploring today, just getting out, relaxing with the Ultralight, messing around with a few different lures, and I think everything we tried worked today, or at least got bites. Some things work better than others, for sure. 5 species today: fall fish, bluegill, red breast, largemouth bass, and black crappie. Definitely was a little surprised to find crappie in here. That was a little bit unexpected, but that's one of the nice things about exploring. You know, you can, you know, there's always a surprise out there waiting for you. So yeah, cool to find some crappie in here. That last one we caught especially was a nice fish. I mean, relatively speaking, you know, for a creek. Not, you know, it's not like a 3-pound crappie, but that was like an eater-sized crappie out of this little creek. And you know, this creek isn't like out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like a urban, suburban creek. So it, you know, it gets pressured. It's not the healthiest or cleanest. You know, there's a lot of trash in here, unfortunately, but there's still life too. You know, definitely plenty of fish in here. Not necessarily growing to impressive sizes, but they're in here. You know, the red breasts, of course. I mean, we caught a ton of those today, mostly small. But yeah, so that's the video. We're out here exploring this creek. You know, if you like this type of fishing, this type of video, you should subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have, you know, weekly fishing videos on Cross Country Bank Angler. You know, this kind of wading, light tackle fishing, you know, BFS, ultralight, spinning, and, you know, other things too, bass fishing, you know, topwater fishing, lure fishing. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get with Cross Country Bank Angler. So yeah, if you made it this far, just want to say thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.